Welcome back, everyone, to a new episode of the Manny Perspective. It's been a long time since I made a video, I know, and I apologize, but I'm sure you'll love what's in store for today and for the future as well. All right, so let's just get into it. Alcohol, drinking, and drugs. Now, when we hear these things, we always get a bad connotation behind them, but we have to know what makes it bad. Now, there are a million of different approaches we can take to this. You could say, well, it's bad for your body, or you could say pretty much anything like that. And while it is true that there pretty much aren't any benefits from drinking, there's also a much deeper theology behind it. Now, the reason I'm sticking to drinking first is because alcohol and drugs are a little different. So for now, I'm going to stick to drinking. And honestly, the church has a really, really simple answer. Is drinking alcohol bad? No. But what is bad is you being in the state of being drunk. You drinking is not what is bad, it's you being drunk. The virtue of temperance, for example, teaches us not to do so. So, what is wrong with drunkenness? I mean, you might say, well, I don't do anything wrong when I'm drunk. Whereas some people say, I turn more affectionate when I'm drunk. First of all, do you really need alcohol to be more affectionate? If you being affectionate or not is contingent to you being drunk or not, that's to say something about yourself. But most importantly, drinking is bad because it clouds reason, and that leads to bad choices, which sometimes can turn into vices. Now, going back to the virtue of temperance, that allows us to balance the goods of life, which include alcohol. The last thing we should be doing is abusing of those goods God has given us. Another reason people could be drinking is escapism. What is escapism if you don't know? The pressures of life, stress, and even boredom. That right there is another wrong reason to drink alcohol. The CCC pretty much solidifies this. It states the virtue of temperance disposes us to avoid every kind of excess, the abuse of food, alcohol, tobacco, or medicine. Knowing that, we understand the distinction between what alcohol consumption is appropriate. Even in the Bible, in the book of Galatians, it speaks about drunkenness being a work of the flesh opposed to the spirit. Jesus himself drank wine, but obviously in moderation. As for teens drinking, it is still wrong because the church does not disagree with civil law about underage drinking, and this is not a law channel, so we won't be going too far into that. Vices, though, are important to note. Recently, I was talking to one of my close friends interested in getting married soon. In this case, we'll call him C. Now, C is in college and is close to finishing college. Recently, C started drinking more and more, and when we talked about it, I made him aware of the future consequences drinking might bring. When we sin, most of the time, we don't bother to think about the future consequences of our actions. See, if he keeps drinking and keeps falling in this path, will not only start to affect him, but also his future family. With alcohol and even drugs, there's a line that if we cross, the people closest to us will start to take damage because of our sins and our vices. So, pretty much, alcohol in moderation is not sinful. Drugs, though, that's different. Drugs, in no situation apart from prescription, are wrong. Drugs not only cloud reason and lead us to sinful actions, but it also develops vices. And even abusing of prescription drugs would be morally wrong. The CCC also has a really good response on this. It says the use of drugs inflict a very grave damage on human health and life. Their use, except on strictly therapeutic grounds, is a grave offense. So drugs, although different from alcohol, are bad in recreational use as well. Anyways, I hope this helped you learn something new today, and hopefully you and everyone around you will live a better and more healthy life. Please make sure you subscribe, send it to someone that didn't know about this, and make sure you comment what you think. God bless, and Manny out.